Cissé. Oh, it's fabulous! A strike to get you up off your seats.
Hello and welcome back to Seagulls Social, season something, episode something. I am Ben. I'm joined by Maz and Ryan. 420 baby, let's go. Sorry for me.
That's cool. 420.
What we doing? We're going to get high for this episode because we're so cool like that. We know. So I've just finished work. My brain's absolutely fried. Ryan's absolutely fried. We all cooked. It's a Monday night. We just got battered by Arsenal. And now we're doing this. But we will be talking about Marseille, their historic night at the Amex. We will be talking about the Europa League draw, which, funny enough, I've been absolutely cooked in a lot of group chats today because first thing in the morning I was like, Europa League group draw. We're going to find out who we get, obviously, from the playoffs. I was buzzing. Everyone was buzzing. And then we're watching the programme together. And then they go, and that's everything from Zurich. Thank you for watching. And we're like, well, what? And yeah, I got absolutely cooked in my chat. So rightly so. I'm so sorry for leading everyone on thinking that they were going to find out who Brighton got. But we can still talk about the potential teams that we will get because there are a few fixtures that are quite tasty. And then we're, of course, going to talk about the Emirates because we have to, unfortunately, because it's our job now. And but we'll probably start with what should we start with? Because sometimes we do it in chronological order, but sometimes we just go. Sometimes we don't do it in chronological order. So what do you want to do first?
Start Marseille, and then we'll go to Arsenal, all right?
Marseille, João Pedro nearly injured 8 fans in the crowd. What an absolute moment that was. But no, seriously, that Marseille historic night. Unfortunately, I wasn't there because I was at my Christmas works do. Maz sacrificed the Christmas work do to go to the game.
Much better choice.
You know, I've made an absolute howler there. It's just last year I missed out on the Christmas work do and heard it was brilliant, and then this year, I missed out on a historic night at the Amex. But there will be many more.
Messed up.
I have messed up. There will be many more games at the Amex because we are through. But yeah, that was an incredible night. Ryan, I want to get your thoughts first. What was that night like, and what was the game like?
Rubbish, mate. First game I've missed since.
Oh my god, yeah. Jesus Christ.
First game I've missed. I felt awful, really, really bad, because I had tonsillitis, so I missed the whole thing, and just really, really frustrating night. I didn't actually watch much of the game because I was sort of leave it at that. To be fair, no one really wants to know what was going on with me, but it wasn't much fun, and I got to see the João Pedro moment, luckily, and it's just a shame. Obviously, I didn't get to celebrate it as much as I could have done. Because best believe, if I was in that stadium that day, God, I could only imagine the emotion that would have been running through me. Manchester United was enough; that would have somehow trumped it, and that says a lot. So, João Pedro, what a goal and what a moment to get a goal like that.
I'm happy for him to get that moment because I know I said it a few weeks ago where I was like, he's not really becoming a clutch player. He scores from the penalty spot a lot. And now he is. He's getting goals from open play and really, really important goals as well. Big game player now. And I love the interview done after the game when he was saying this one's for the fans. You can see he really does care. He's not just there for the bag. So fair play to him. But Maz, you were there. So thank God we've got one of us that went to the game this time. That's great.
It's normally me. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I know.
Yeah, to be fair, no, it was an incredible night. It was just one of those games where I thought we were going to get frustrated, and I thought we rode our luck a little bit. There was a few chances they had. They hit the woodwork as well, so they did have their chances. But yeah, that goal, I'm so glad for all the people that left early. That just serves you right, really, for leaving early. I saw quite a few people leave around us early around the.
Idiots.
Yeah, around the 85th minute sort of mark. Because I think he scored in the 87th, didn't he?
87, 88,
yeah. I mean, honestly, when that goal went in, like, you just saw all the emotion, like, me and my mate, Tom, just like hugging each other. Yeah, mate, the atmosphere, do you know what? Props to the atmosphere. Like, it's one of the best I've ever experienced as a Brighton fan. When that goal went in, like, the way the stadium erupted was just unbelievable. It was such a good, like, feel-good moment. Everyone just going mad. Obviously, the smoke from the Marseille fans just engulfed the stadium.
They could not have timed that worse.
Just visually.
They timed that on... Did they do that on purpose when they conceded, or did they do it just like the players up and then it happened?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm pretty sure. No. They threw it as we scored, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So like visually, it was such a like strange feeling because you had like the madness of the flares, like the lights, the smoke, and then obviously you had the euphoria of the Brighton fans. So it was like a really special moment to be involved as a Brighton fan. And it was what goals are. Pascal Gross, what player he is, what ball.
A shock.
Lallana obviously involved, and an incredible finish from João Pedro. So it's just a great evening. Could have gone a bit, I think. Well, what's the word? Pear-shaped, just purely because Marseille, you could tell they didn't want to go there for a win. Like, Pau Lopez, the goalkeeper, just kept on purpose wasting time from about the 10th minute. And it was just so evident that he just didn't care about winning at all. They had fair play to them. They only needed a draw, didn't they? So
that's like...
Aubameyang.
No, of course, we wrote that up. We wrote...
Does not worry me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Albert mate, never does it, does he? Never does it. I know that he had that goal, which Jack corrected me on, and fair enough, but it was still a jammy rubbish finish, and it didn't matter for the game. And that's it. And I don't know, there's something about Aubameyang, he could have scored 25 goals the game before, and he would have come against Brighton. I'd fully expect him to blank. I just didn't expect him to score. I had a feeling we'd win. I did have a feeling, even at the 85th, I still thought we'd be all right. It felt like it'd be our night. I don't know why. You just always sometimes get them feelings, don't you? But as I don't want to go over what Maz has already said, the sheer emotion from João, but just what a goal, mate. I can't go over how good the goal was. We don't do goals like that. We don't do goals like
finish.
that.
But I know you mentioned it, Maz. Like Pascal Gross, though, like another assist. Another goal involvement. He just cannot stop getting involved in goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's honestly like that night aside, just how important he is. Like for me, it was actually a weird thing I was seeing the other day. It's like people naming their best player for each team, and I was thinking about Brighton. I was like, who would you consider the best player of our team? And it has to be for me Pascal Gross or Lewis Dunk for me out of the two. Like if you've got to look like weight for pound for pound, I just think he's so important to how we play, our build up play, just his general football IQ. Everything about him, it just screams like elite. Like he just wants to be the best. He wants to really, bring the team up and get to his level. And I think a player like Pascal just goes so underrated with, especially general Premier League fans. But we know how good he is, and he's just so important to the way we play. I think
I might get cooked for this, and I'll ask you to as well. If you had to go on for like the rest of the season, and you could only start Gross or Dunk, I would probably say Gross is more influential on the team than Lewis Dunk is. Like we would get more points with Gross on the pitch just because of how many goals he's involved in. You could also argue that Lewis Dunk saves us from a lot of goals. Like we will get on with Arsenal. Like it could have been 8-0 to Arsenal without Dunk blocking everything with every part of his body, including his ball sack. Fair play to him. Hope they're all right. But for me, I think I'd have Pascal Gross probably, just because of the impact he has. Ryan, you look bewildered, so I'll go to you first.
I'm not bewildered. I'm thinking about it. I mean, the only thing is, I think for the first time this season, we've had Van Hecke and Igor sort of a lot more prominently, just because of Dunk's had his injuries, couple of injuries, which he never normally does, and he's had a fair amount of suspensions, which he has done a lot over his Brighton career anyway. But I don't know. It's difficult. Very, very hard to call that because, I mean, at the same time, when Gross is out of the side,
it's a really tough question.
We are half the team that we are. I remember with that, I think it was 1 or 2 games where Gross was out the team this season. I remember coming on the podcast and saying we miss him so much, and then he came back, and you could clearly tell that we did miss him so much. So I think because we're in a great situation now where we've got Igor and Van Hecke, yes, maybe because they're growing together. But that's a big call. That's a very hard question, Ben. Very hard question.
Cheers.
I don't know what to say.
Coming in with him. Don't know how I thought of that, but here we are.
Well, I set you up, to be fair. It was a Gross assist to you.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, there we go.
Up, Gross or Dunky. There you go. It is a tough question. Do you know what? Because of how bad we've been defensively, I think even if we didn't have Dunk, we'd still be terrible in defence. So let's go with Pascal Gross. We'd keep him. Yeah, we'll go with that. Just because I had a mad stat show. This is a stat I was going to give you, Ryan. I want to say it's been 24 games since we last kept a clean sheet, or 27 games, one of the two.
Can believe that.
But we haven't kept a clean sheet this season, which is mental.
Well, I
think
it's been like 22 in the league in a row, mate.
Yeah,
It's Arsenal away.
Yeah, in the league.
Year,
Yeah, obviously Marseille,
it?
we got one. Yeah.
Still.
Yeah, of
still
course.
Super
So
League.
in the league, I think it's just insane to have that amount of games to be. Yeah, it's just insane to me.
Yeah, and to win the group as well is incredible. First ever time in Europe is nuts, and yeah, to do it how we done, so last minute, was incredible. And shout out to the bloke with the who let off the pyro or the flare in the north stand. I really hope he doesn't get in trouble, because I know how we are so strict with that shit.
I wish we were allowed pyros, mate. I mean, I really wish.
How are
they just
Marseille
make
allowed
it
to
so much better.
take all of that in there?
I know,
I do not
I know.
understand it.
And I've got to spend
that's what I was
£2 on
asking.
knocking a bottle of water over every single week. It's so frustrating, mate. Honestly, like, they're allowed to. It drives you mad, doesn't it? I mean, to be fair, I mean,
we don't know
it reminds me
how
of-
they smuggled in so many.
No, it
think
reminds
I
me of
know.
Palace last year. No, the Mopé one the year before, when we had that blue flare sort of coming back up on the fans. That was just great. That was, and that was, that was, I think, the last time we're allowed to do it before really a big clampdown. It just makes the atmosphere better, doesn't it? I mean, it's really hypocritical, because they still do the fireworks displays before the game, which is like they go against their own policy. I don't get it.
Well, I guess they don't have 18-year-olds and 17-year-olds controlling the fireworks next to the
That's
stand.
fair. That's fair.
But I think we had because we spoke about it maybe last year or the year before, and I think it was after a Palace game, and we had a couple of the stewards comment on one of our YouTube videos saying the reason why I think they get them in is because once they're offloaded on the train or they're escorted off the coach, they're just literally just like pushed into the away end to make sure they're all in there, so there's no trouble. So I think it's a lot easier to not get a search. So you just stuff it down your trousers or something, and you're good to go. So I think that is probably how they do it.
Makes sense, to be fair.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's
I've
probably
got
the
a random
last
memory
bit.
here.
Oh, go on.
Just while we're on the João Pedro goal. Do you remember this is the good time to have Jack Albion on the pod, because they probably remember it like this. The Tomer Hemed goal against Cardiff in the Championship in the promotion season, and he turned his man. It sort of came in towards him, turned his man. He rifled it into the back of there. That is the closest to the João Pedro goal that I can remember, and that's how long back I've had to go just to remember. You don't remember the goal, do you? I don't expect you to. That's the only one that I can think that it reminds me somewhat. I think it was 2016, maybe 2017. The only one that I can remember that they're similar to that goal. But that's the only one that comes to mind.
Yeah, I wish we had Jack Albion on. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he would remember that straight away.
Yeah. But yeah, that was just to wrap up the Europa League. Well, for that match anyway, because we'll talk about some of the teams that we could potentially get in the fixtures. Yeah, unbelievable, like I said, to do it how we done it. Palace, I hope you're watching, because we have set the standard, we have set the bar in Europe. The group of death, please. It was a piece of
Wrong
piss,
week to be
apart from
bantering them, mate. I'm staying so clear.
No, it's not. It's the right week to do it.
I'm too scared.
Let's quickly talk about the games of the playoffs, basically. Teams that we might face. So you've got Feyenoord versus AS Roma, which is, I think it's the repeat of the 2022 Conference League game. I saw Mike King tweet that they've played each other like 3 times in the past 3 seasons, so they're probably fed up with each other already. AS Roma, you would probably say, goes through there. Just butt in. I'm just going to whiz through him, but butt in if you disagree. AC Milan versus Rennes. AC Milan go through. Lens versus Freiburg. I think Lens have been fairly decent, so I'd probably say Lens. Don't know too much about Freiburg.
I think Freiburg as well have been all right.
Okay. Young
Two
Boys
big
versus
teams, though.
Sporting.
They beat
two good
Bayern,
teams
didn't
against each other.
Yeah. Young Boys versus Sporting. Sporting probably go through there. Benfica versus Toulouse. Benfica probably go through there. Braga versus Karabakh. The poor Braga fans going all the way to Azerbaijan. That would be quite funny to go to Azerbaijan, but obviously an absolute mission. I don't know who would go through there. Probably Braga. I would probably put my money on. Then Galatasaray versus Sparta Prague. That's tasty. You'd imagine Galatasaray go through there because they've got some brilliant players. And then we get Zaha in the next round. Shock. And then Shakhtar versus Marseille. That would also be a quite cool tie to get against Shakhtar because of the Zerbi links. But tough game for Marseille, probably. I'd say. I still think Marseille will probably go through in that one, though. So there's some quite big teams that we could get in the next round. And I'm obviously annoyed that we didn't get to find out who. We have to wait until February to find out who. So that's going to be a long, long time. But what are your thoughts on those? Any standouts, Ryan?
I want to play Braga, just because I want to visit that stadium, which looks so cool. It's like a mountain, isn't it? That would be really, really fun. But I don't really care, if you know what I mean. I want to play a good team. Obviously, you want to play your Leverkusens, etc. But I don't really care too much for the draws that don't affect us, because at the end of the day, until the next draw is announced and who comes through, because at the end of the day, realistically, all we've actually said is we think the favourites will win, and 9 times out of 10 in these sort of competitions that doesn't happen anyway. So I don't know. I don't care. We'll see what happens in February, I think, because that's all that really will matter to us then. And we'll be a different team, mate. We'll have different players probably January to come. All the other teams
Barco,
in that thing. Barco, whatever, yeah. So, yeah, I probably the conservative, boring answer, but I don't care until we play them, and that's just me being honest. Obviously, I watch the draw, but it doesn't. As long as the big teams play each other, there's a 50% chance one of them's gone. So that's good for us.
We're looking at the odds. I made this today actually. Liverpool the favourites. Leverkusen now are their second favourites, but they've been absolutely cooking. They're probably one of the best teams in Europe at the moment. So to have them in the Europa League is insane. I'd probably avoid Leverkusen over Liverpool. I don't know if you agree, Maz.
Yeah, definitely. I think Leverkusen are arguably the strongest team in the Europa League. Like you said, they've been flying this season. They haven't lost a game in Europa. They've won all 6 games, and they're flying high in the Bundesliga.
Are they still unbeaten in it? I think they're still unbeaten in the Bundesliga.
Really?
Maybe. I know they're doing well, but yeah, they won. Mate, their Europa League group, 6 wins, 19 goals scored, 3 conceded. It's pretty mental. So yeah, definitely avoid them. Do you know, really weirdly, I'd actually quite like to go to Rangers. I think Rangers away would be great. Just because we actually, I don't want to tempt fate here, but we'd probably beat them, and it'll be a decent away day. So
it'd be a great
win-win.
Would be class.
I actually said this to my dad yesterday that I quite fancy Rangers. Like if we were gonna have a home one, it's not too bad. But then again, you want your Leverkusen just because of the Brighton links. I think because just for exploring, I want Braga. But yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult because, as I say, until they've all played each other, it doesn't matter, does it? I think that's the trouble. It's hard, but yeah, Rangers would be good fun, Maz. I agree. A trip to Glasgow, go to Scotland, and they've got a cracking atmosphere up there as well, haven't they? So see Connor Goldson again would be funny.
Yeah. And also the banter between the two teams should be pretty good as well.
The
Scottish humour is quite funny. So.
Well, maybe.
yeah.
I do speak Scottish, so I can understand. Just to confirm, Leverkusen they are first. 15 matches played in the Bundesliga, 12 wins, 3 draws, 0 losses. Outstanding, Xabi Alonso. Incredible job. Just to say, we are 5th favourites to win it at the moment. Currently 14-1. If you like a bet, probably don't bet on us because Leverkusen and Liverpool win it. And that is Ben's Europa League roundup. Thanks for coming. Shall we move on to Arsenal now? Do you think? I know it's a bit miserable moving on, but we did get battered. I think the reason why it's not too bad and too hard to take is because we got battered by the better team. Spoke to one of my friends who's an Arsenal fan. He said that was probably their best performance this season, and you could tell we should definitely have lost that by a bigger scoreline.
I got hounded.
I was getting cooked. So basically, I got cooked online because I said that I wasn't overly impressed with Arsenal. And look, I still stick by up until
You're
the
the issue.
game.
That's a great thing to say, isn't it, on AFTV, on the biggest Arsenal channel. Before we play them at the Emirates, we say they haven't played that well this year. Yeah, there we go.
I know. No, I did probably
see some comments though, Maz. They actually agree with you as well. Some of them were agreeing with you.
No, 100%. Yeah, no. There was a lot of people that did agree, but then there was a small, especially once they beat us, which I didn't set myself up nice. It didn't age well, basically. However, I still stick by. I still don't think prior to the Brighton game, I didn't think Arsenal had been at their best, and I don't think that's a silly thing to say. Like, I don't think they were operating at maximum levels. In my opinion, I think they can be much better, and we saw it yesterday. Like, fair play to them. They played us off the park yesterday. We were poor, but they were brilliant. They were. Literally from minute 1 to 90th minute, they pretty much dominated us. Yeah, Declan Rice in that midfield. And I said, just quickly, the last thing on this, I did say before the game, I think that midfield battle was going to be the key thing, and it was proven. Like, Declan Rice, Odegaard and Havertz Havertz got a goal. Odegaard could have scored 3 or 4, and Declan Rice ran the show. So, yeah, their midfield did win that game, I think.
No, it's true. I mean, it doesn't take much to beat our midfield this season. So I think when you've got that midfield... It's so annoying I didn't go to this game. I had tickets as well. I was gutted. It's just so frustrating. But when you see the lineups come on the midfield and you just think, my God, yeah, fair enough. And Declan Rice is an absolute joke of a player. I've not seen someone be so dominant against us in such a long time. No one could cope with him. Absolutely no one could cope with him. I think the only player that has coped with him in a Brighton shirt is Caicedo. And that's it. That is the complete epitome of what's happened to the club at the moment, and that's what's happened to our season. We don't have anyone to cope with people like that. A bit of muscle, bit of skill, bit of flair, someone to just completely power you. We had no chance, absolutely no chance against them.
Yeah, I remember. Funny you should mention Caicedo, Brian. Do you remember? Was it last season when we played West Ham, and in his post-match interview, Rice came out and said Caicedo is an absolute baller, basically, kept me pocketed, essentially. Not in those words, obviously, but he basically said that Caicedo was brilliant on the day, and he basically kept him out the game. So I agree. We were missing.
True, actually. That's a good point because, he said he came
out in the press,
embarrassed he was. He said he's never been outplayed by a team like that, and then 2 months later to be on the flip side and dominate us. He's probably quite happy with that one.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, you know,
100%. And I think, just
go on, Maz. No, sorry.
No, that's right. I was just going to say, I think with that midfield, of course, I'm a massive fan of Billy Gilmore, obviously Pascal Gross as well, but we're still missing that Caicedo-esque player, and I think Baleba could potentially be that, but he's clearly still not ready or what De Zerbi wants him to be. So I think we do definitely need to look at another, DM/Caicedo-esque player to come in January.
Yeah, I agree. It's also just when you look at Thursday night, we played Marseille, got through in the most dramatic fashion, as we've said before. Then come up against Arsenal. For a bit of perspective, I mean, it's a crazy couple of days. By far, Arsenal best team in the league, irrespective of what man said on FTV. And then you've got the next few days, we've got Palace on Thursday. So it's a crazy week, isn't it? You put them into 7 days, sandwiched in between each other. If you told me them 3 games, and obviously what was on Marseille, I'm taking those 2 games, Marseille and Palace, over a win against Arsenal, as much as it would be a great luxury. It's not as important to us, and unfortunately that's the position we're in at the moment, is we have to sacrifice games, and we will be second best, and we will get beaten. And it happened, and it's credit to them. That's what you have to do. You have to credit them.
I think Mike King said the same. He was saying about how this was before Marseille as well. He was like, I'd happily rest loads of players against Arsenal just so we can batter Palace a few days later. Just take the hit against Arsenal. I would have done the same, but obviously it's not FIFA or Football Manager, so you can't really get away with that. Because imagine he did put out the kids, we'd all be like, well, come on, mate. That's not...
Yeah.
We're going to get absolutely trounced. But
Arsenal changed, don't they? Really changed. I mean, that's like City a couple of years ago, coming up against a team where you really, really can't touch the ball. I've not seen that against Brighton in so long. I mean, for us as well, I think De Zerbi said it in his post-match. You don't really see us not touch the ball. We like to control the game. We like to make passes, and we didn't do that at all. We didn't really have the chance to. The only chance we had was that gross one in the last sort of 5 minutes, and that was 5 minutes before they scored to kill the game. And on another day he tucks that away, doesn't he? But it's very minuscule when you put it on the grand scheme of everything else.
To back that up, I think in the 49 games De Zerbi's we've been with De Zerbi, I think that's the first time. That's the first time we've never registered a shot in a first half. That just proves how much they pressed us and how dominant they were against us. Mad stat for that.
First half, they absolutely killed us. First half, second half, a little bit better. But we were talking about stat. Zoe brought up the possession thing. We still beat them on possession, 51% to 49, which is mad to think that. We had 51% possession, which is still mad to think because obviously, like when you watch the game, you wouldn't have thought that would be the stat. You would have thought, I don't know, Arsenal would be 60-70% possession to our 30-40. I was quite surprised about that. But again, possession doesn't win you games. You could have the ball the whole game and you lose 1-0. It doesn't really matter.
I don't remember us really.
It was a weird one yesterday.
And controlling, isn't there? There's a difference between that sort of domination and really making anything count with it, at least if you're breaking lines. Like that unbelievable pass that Lewis Dunk played to Mitoma, by the way. Unbelievable pass. That is one of the best passes I've seen a defender make. Shout out Louis for saying that on Twitter, because I think he got nabbed by Harvey, saying, if you could name, gun to your head, five defenders that can do that, then fair play. Because I couldn't either. And I must admit, that is unbelievable. That one where I think he split about 3 players, and it's I think it's Ben White, Mitoma's running past. Seriously. I mean, come on, Gareth Southgate. You're looking in Euros next year.
I'm glad you've said this, because you reminded me of his other pass. I guess you can consider it a pass. The chest back to Verbruggen. Oh no, I'm just saying the chest back to Verbruggen. I know he does the chest all the time, but
it's a joke.
Jesus Christ. It was drilled into the box, and he's just like hit at the top of the chest, and it's just gone boink, and just to catch it is insane. Yeah, I can't believe that I couldn't find the clip or video or screenshot of it anywhere yesterday.
Clubs put it on now. Clubs put it on.
Have they?
If you look at
Brighton. Yeah, the clubs put it on. Yeah.
Are they,
I was just going to mention as well that we've seen. That touch was sensational. But also, just talking of passes, do you remember that pass he did for Watford? It was the opening day of the season. I want to say 2 years ago. Do you remember the through ball at Watford? I don't know if you guys remember it.
Yeah.
That was absolutely phenomenal. First day of the season, 2 years ago, I think it was now.
Yeah,
we know his range of passings is a joke. Like, I know we sort of touched on it, but his range of passing for a centre half is just outrageous, and he's always had it in the locker. It's just we see it more now, I think, because we know him now as much more of a passer and his ability, and we talk about, like, I know Ryan, you're a big fan of his chesting ability. Like, he's just got so many attributes that you wouldn't expect from a traditional centre half.
For being a chess man.
He is, but he rates something else. But no, it's incredible to see him. But it's incredible to see him, just go levels and levels above. Like, every time you think he can't get any better, he just raises the levels. And he was colossus yesterday. But in saying that, I do want to talk about it. Our defensive record, boys. I don't know what needs to be done, but to not have a clean sheet this far through to the season, nearly at January, I've heard this, and I do agree.
Fullbacks.
We need a cover midfielder.
We need a lot, really. Yeah. We do need.
Basically, we need a full. Yeah.
We do need a
full
fullbacks, midfield, and some more.
But right,
just give us
on that quickly. Just quickly on that. So you think the defensive frailties and our, not being able to keep clean sheets is due to not having that cover in midfield?
Yeah, midfield and cover at fullback as well. Fullback needs to take, Veltman comes on the pitch for his first game in ages, gets injured again. So you have to put Jack Hitcherwood there. So Milner first 45 was tough watch. Sorry, James. I'm sure you're a great guy. But...
Oh, mate. Oh, my God, I forgot about that. So James Milner, seeing him, I said, what? Why? De Zerbi is a very smart man, and I don't know. There must be a reason. He must see something, or
Igor must have something.
Milner has nudes. Milner has nudes on De Zerbi or something on him to be able to start against Saka. Like, he's one of the best wingers in the league, and you're putting 38-year-old James Milner, who's not a fullback, against Saka. What on earth?
It was a one-way street, wasn't it?
It was never going to end well.
Yeah, I didn't understand that at all. Yeah,
no.
And then also I just want to talk about Jack Hinshelwood. Love him to bits, but he was using his AirPods as shin pads. I don't know if you saw the images of it's literally it looked like, or if you go to Holy Communion and you get given a little bit of,
did they?
Yeah, literally like a little
they're
outrageous,
down there. By the way.
What on earth is that protecting? Is there like a rule they have to have something stuffed down there? So he's picked up some tissue from the toilet because he forgot whatever he normally has. Honestly, I don't know how.
It was. I actually saw the shin pad company. They posted about it. Like, oh, look at Jack Hinshelwood getting the coverage for us. Like,
that's an actual shin pad.
Well, it must be. Yeah,
it's a company that makes them. Yeah. They're like I think they're called Avalast or something. They're called Avalast or something.
You are joking. That was an actual shin pad.
Mate, imagine that. Imagine that when you were younger.
Oh, they also now
get away with nothing. You're not playing that game.
What is that doing?
100%. No chance.
What is that protecting?
Lauren James wears them as well. Lauren James wears them as well.
Oh, that's right then. Oh, fine.
Quite a few. No, I'm not condoning it. I'm not condoning it.
Do you see that football
I
joke?
think, personally, not to sound like that, like Yadar.
Football Joe. Was it Football
Brighton
Joe?
defender.
Yeah,
Someone
some
like
Brighton
that.
player.
Yeah, some Brighton defender.
Yeah, Football Joe, yeah.
The pinnacle of football media, that is. The Brighton
See-
defender. At least take 2 seconds out your day to look up what his name is. My God, what is all that about?
In my Sport Bible post, I
Yeah,
put
literally,
Jack
one Google
Hinchwood.
search.
I made sure to put his full
What?
name. And
Ben,
give him the credit.
Ben,
I
I'm
even
not being
tagged him
funny,
in it,
yeah?
so I hope he's got a few more followers in it.
Ben, I'm not being funny, yeah? If you see a photo like that, isn't it not in your first part of your mind? Even if you don't know who the player is, they could be in the reserves
100%,
for Bournemouth. You still look at who the guy's
Literally,
name is, don't
a
you?
simple Google
It takes
search.
2 seconds. Awful.
I done a post today about a Tigres goalkeeper. It's going to be scheduled tonight, like 9 o'clock or whatever, on Sport. And you just search his name. It doesn't take too long. But the story was quite funny. It was in the Liga
Got a
MX
number of him
final.
if you need to.
And he got sent off within like the 95th minute in extra time. And because he wanted to watch the rest of the final, he jumped behind the goal and hid underneath a bit of carpet and peeked his head over the advertisement board to watch the rest of the game. Yeah, that was long-winded, but yeah, it's just quite a funny little story. So yeah, it's not hard, basically, is my point. It's not hard to search someone else's name and to figure
really
it out
not.
and write it down.
Give some
Doesn't take
respect.
too
Come
long.
on now.
You're not going to lose any likes by wasting 1 minute to find out the name.
Well, to be fair, I stat paid 1.5k
Also,
in that comment section, so I'm taking it.
Fair play.
Also, as well, on Jack Hinchwood, his header as well. He had a headed chance, I remember, yesterday, which if he'd put it either side of Raya, that would have been a goal, boys.
Yeah,
but yeah, unfortunately for him, it was a great leak, to be fair to him. Yeah, it was straight at Raya, which was frustrating. But yeah, any side of him, and that was a goal, and that could have really been, I think I would have made it 1-1 at the time. Yeah, 1-1, yeah. And so, yeah, just another chance that we sort of squandered.
I really felt that
Gross one was
Pascal
the
Gross
big
one. I
obviously.
thought if that had
I
gone
thought
in,
Pascal's was in there. Celebrate.
Oh, mate, I celebrated.
So did
I celebrated. I literally, I was like, yeah! I was like, yeah! And then I was like, oh, no, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah,
we didn't score.
That was an absolute howler.
Yeah.
But, boys, like we said, we won on possession. We had more passes and better pass accuracy. So, who's the real winner? That's the real quiz.
Mate, at the end of the day,
3-0
it's
to the Albion.
night, innit?
We're the real
No, you
winner.
just you take these sort of things and you move on with it. It's not. I wouldn't get too worried about it. I wouldn't look into
Yeah, it's
it.
not
I
the
wouldn't
deepest
analyse. I'd analyse obviously the way we conceded because that's you have to. You'd analyse why we didn't get into the game, but I think it's quite obvious why we didn't. We played Marseille. We got Palace at the week. In the week, we're very, very, very stretched in squad, and we've got no one at fullback. So what's the surprise? We lost to the best team in the league. It doesn't take a turn.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Ryan. I think it's one of those games where we put it down to we were simply not the better side. However, I think you just touched on it there. It was 2 sloppy goals to concede. Like I think was it Van Hecke for one of them and Verbruggen in sort of no man's land. They were just sloppy goals.
9 times out of 10, that little flick on in the corner
Yeah.
normally goes out wide, but to land it, Jesus, like with an open goal. Very
Surprised he
unfortunate.
scored,
That's
to be
a
fair
Brighton
to
goal.
him. I mean, Jesus, I thought he put that wide. But yeah, I mean, yeah, no.
The Havertz finish killed me.
Yeah, no, it was a killer. It was a killer because there was a bit of hope, wasn't there, at the end? But I was a bit convinced. You know, you get yourself into that hopeful delusion, don't you, that you're going to score.
It was a good finish.
It doesn't happen, but it is what it is. And Havertz, as I always say, if you don't rate Havertz, you don't know football. He's a great player. I don't know why he gets so much stick because I think he's a class player.
It's clear to see why he gets so much stick, but yeah, there is a player there for sure.
It's a player there, mate. 100%. He'll be
like
good.
Mudryk. I think as a player in Mudryk,
Mudryk's
still,
class.
I'm still sitting on
100%. Yeah, agree.
there is a player in there.
Agree.
Believe me. Have you not seen him juggle some toilet roll on his TikTok?
Okay.
He's phenomenal.
No, I do agree. It's not far fetched. It's not far fetched at all. But what I say is Van Hecke and Verbruggen, obviously alongside Lewis Dunk, mate, needs to take so much credit. Van Hecke kept us in that first half of Dunk. Absolutely. But it was there everything. The second half was there with everything. He's turned into such a good player for us, Van Hecke. I'll ignore the goal because it wasn't his fault, really, was it? It's a very unfortunate one. He's just been brilliant. He really, really deserves so much credit because he was. I mean, I admit it as well. I didn't think he was going to be the guy for us, if I'm honest. He's got his new contract, fully deserved. He's been brilliant.
No, yeah. What the Van Heck? Oh, yeah.
Shout out
the contract. Summarise, Arsenal turned up against the biggest club in England. You can't blame them, and they got a good result. So I think that's about it, really.
Their big day out. Not joking.
It's their cup final, Ben. It's Arsenal's cup final.
It's a huge cup final for
Arsenal's
them.
cup final.
They finally beat us at the Emirates. It's crazy, and they finally
well done,
They ended our
Took you long
48
enough.
game streak of scoring in every single bloody game. Of course, they fucking did. But Palace next.
Yeah.
We are going to record that in like the next 10 minutes. But
Intruder.
Yeah, that's the Arsenal fans trying to knock down that door. But yeah, we're gonna record the Palace thing in 10 minutes, but that'll probably be out on Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe. Oh, no, probably Tuesday. Give you time to watch it. So yeah, I think that's it for this episode. Comments down below. I'll probably answer the question: would you rather have, if you had to start Gross or Dunk, who would it be?
Yeah, if you can answer it.
Yeah, if you can answer it, definitely try. Can't really think of anything funny. Or maybe no, actually that's funny. Just type in Arsenal's Cup Final. Just do that and answer the question as well.
Arsenal's Cup
Like, comment, subscribe. Leave review on Spotify and Apple, and we will see you. Yeah.
Just quickly, make sure you do like on YouTube, because it does. I've had enough.
Massive likes.
Every
We
week
always forget to do a call to action at the beginning. That's our issue. We always forget to do it.
People don't like the video. Like the video, boys. We need to push the stuff.
Maybe
the
they
video.
just don't like it.
Thank you very much.
Is it?
Yeah, what if they actually just don't? What if
they just don't like? If you don't like it, it's unfair. Don't like it. But if you do like it, then actually like it. I think
content's just absolutely awful.
So
we think we're cooking.
Yeah, that's what I meant. If you actually like it, like it.
Yeah. All right. See you all soon. Peace and love. Bye.